It's How Tuesday. We are tearing apart a set of Evo 10 headlights. I had planned another how-to video today, but specifically because of a project that we have coming up, I'm gonna make today's video be about these Evo 10 headlights and how to open them up. Just like the Civic lights and the WRX lights, I'm just gonna walk you through it.
What's up guys, I'm Chris and this is FlyRyde, where we're going to show you the tech and the installs of automotive lighting. On the channel we talk about building custom headlights and taillights, and we show you behind the scenes as we build custom setups for your favorite YouTubers. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe and hit that notification icon so you don't miss any uploads.
We've got a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, just 4 screws on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tabs. So this thing is predominantly held in place by the plastic tabs. All right, this is gonna go in the oven for 5 minutes. I'm gonna check it at 5 minutes. If all looks well, I'm gonna cook it for an additional 3 minutes. That tab right there, it can be kind of a big problem. It's not made to hold the weight of this headlight while you're working on it. So what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna prop up something underneath the light so that it does not have to rest its weight on that tab. Because you can see it's really thin, so it's just gonna bend, and with the heat coming from the oven, it's not gonna do well in there.
5 minutes later.
I've got the other headlight. We've already done some of the modifications. This is basically the goal of the project, is to have a fully retrofitted angel eye on the high beam section with a fake projector. This is gonna be a completely different project that I show you guys. We'll walk you through that process on another video, but for right now, that is just to show you what we kind of have in mind as we work on these. So I'm gonna put these gloves on just so that all of the sticky glue stuff that gets stuck on them isn't permanently attached to my gloves. So I do have one screwdriver. I'm gonna try to avoid using it and just using leverage to open up these lights. And I can definitely tell the plastic is softer. So all we're gonna do is just check all of our tabs really quick. And they are definitely pliable enough to bend out of the way. So I would say if you're doing this, bend them a little bit further than you need to, just to keep them out of the way, because they're gonna wanna settle back down right where they were at before. And that kind of fights you as you're working on these things. And yeah, now it's pretty much just yanking on these things until they come apart. So what I don't wanna do is damage anything by pulling on a weak part of plastic. So it looks like there's a little lip that I can get to right here. So I'm just gonna get my fingertips in that to get it started. And yeah, this thing is opening up really, really easy. So it just depends how long you've heated it. You don't want to overheat them because they can easily melt if you have them in for way too long. But I find that heating them at that lower temperature definitely helps a lot. It allows the glue to get hot, but really the plastic on the back and the front isn't hot. The only thing that I will say is that you will want to have something to catch all of the little pieces of glue as it opens up like that. So like always, this lens is very easy to mess up permanently. Anything that gets inside of that is basically gonna be stuck. It's gonna leave a mark that you can't really get rid of. So we wanna do whatever we can to keep this thing completely out of dusty environments or anything where it can get scratched or anything. So I wanna set this thing to the side for now. One little trick is to take the lens while it's still sticky, and you don't wanna put it anywhere because it'll stick to every surface, and just put it on something like this. This is just a sheet of plastic. And so now it's kind of blocking it from any dust or anything getting into it. And I can set it aside without worrying about something stupid happening. All right, so that's what we're gonna be making. Just to give you an idea of how all this stuff is held into place, we actually have our main bezel right here. We've modified it so that it can fit this special ring. This is not a typical ring that we work with, but we actually got a hold of a set of rings from 180 in New York, And that's what they look like. They got a little diffuser, kind of get the yellow background to them. Not something that you see too much of anymore. But here's where everything's modified on this high beam projector. So that's it. That's the truth. When you're seeing one of these Evo 10 headlights, very few guys actually take the time to modify and mount a whole projector. The reason is spacing. There's just nowhere to put something that big there. So that is what we are going to be working on. And you can see we've done just a very light bit of modification inside to get rid of these little high beam parts that are in there. So that came out. That's all going to get trimmed so that we can fit a lens like this. All right, and the last part, we're just going to take all of the little screws out so we can access the internals. And we're actually going to get a lens for right here. So this amber lens is going to go away. We're going to pick up a set of those clears from DK Molds, which I believe they have already. It looks like it's made for an aftermarket light, but I believe it's based on the OEM. We'll see. 3 screws hold that section into place. I think that's it. Yes, it is. All right, this is another piece right here that you just don't want to mess with that. You don't want it to get any fingerprints because you can't really wipe it. So if you do get any dust or anything on there, make sure that you blow it off with compressed air, not by wiping. Got this little dude hanging in by 1 screw. So now this can actually have the internal parts taken out so that you can paint this. There's a little tab. You pop that out, and then same thing. This has 2 tabs on the side. I am gonna try to keep these things super perfect. Send this thing off to DK Molds in case it is different. So I don't wanna damage this part that we could otherwise have remanufactured and clear. So that will go to the side, and the only thing left to do is pull out this internal section with the projector on it. For that, I forgot this tool. It's a little 90-degree impact. One of them is 8mm. The other 2 are Phillips. So you can see right in there, there's that Phillips. You can use a 10mm or a Phillips, but as you adjust it, it's moving out, and the same thing hidden back here. You want to back all those 100% out. Okay, so now we've got our bucket. If we want, we can take this internal turn signal reflector out. We can paint that. It's got 2 screws. And now we've got a completely stripped bucket. This is actually a really good time to take the retro rubber and wrap it all the way around. If you don't know about retro rubber, this is what it is. It's the same exact gray sealant that's in here. This is from our friends at Morimoto. They made a very simple to use glue. This is actually what we will use on this set because it has gray sealant. Normally we use a special machine because it's got the black sealant, it's just easier. But basically we're just gonna work our way through with this and just add that layer of butyl rope all the way around until we've made a complete pass around the whole perimeter. And that will definitely make this seal a whole lot better. Any of these little parts right here that get a pocket of air inside of them are gonna lead to leaking later. So that's a big reason why you see people with leaky lights after they've modified them. They didn't take that step of adding the extra sealant after, and that is gonna help you avoid all the headaches that come with leaky lights. Okay, last step, we're just gonna take the screws off the back of this guy. So we've got one on top, and looks like about 5 or 6 of them in total. Oop, looks like it's 4 total. Okay, so now that this is off, this can be modified. You can take these little sections right here and you can cut the backs of them off so that light can pass through from the backside forward. You can do all sorts of little stuff. In this case, all I'm gonna do is paint it. This is gonna stay exactly the same. We're mounting the angel eye to it, so we are gonna notch a little hole in the top so that we can have the little 3/4 angel eye go right here. We're gonna take something like this, gotta modify it this side. We'll show that in the other video. We're gonna mount it on the inside so it looks like it's got 2 projectors, even though it doesn't. Super common mod. Most people haven't actually understood the process, but that's what it is. And then this is really cool because this is the exact same shape as the factory HID projector, but this is just a halogen standard one. So I'll show you, I'll actually take this off and compare it with the factory HID projector. All right, so if you look part for part, it's a direct swap. All the holes line up exactly, which means if we have the aftermarket version of this, we can just replace this guy very simply just by taking out 4 screws and putting it in. 4 screws go back and you've got a retrofit headlight ready for crazy high intensity output. All right, that's it for your how-to. On Thursday, coming up, something special, our friends at Custom Brackets and Designs sent us these Acura NSX headlight retrofit brackets. So this is gonna be cool because we're gonna put these on a right-hand drive NSX that has the little flip-up lights, and we're gonna retrofit crazy aftermarket projectors that give you a ton of extra output, and it's gonna convert it to left-hand drive. So that'll be killer for our buddy Sean. Check these things out really quick. They're pretty hardcore looking little guys. We're gonna figure out how the heck to mount these things. We will bring that to you on Tech Review Thursday. See you then.